Being sick sucks. Getting sick sucks. We gotta power through that shit though, right? Alright, let's get right into it. Again, I gotta tell you guys too, the people that have reached out to support the channel through that PayPal, like, so many kind words are coming through. It's ridiculous. But it's kindness nonstop, isn't there? I mean, there's what is it, 98 and something percent, 98% point something percent approval rate on the channel. There's so many good, kind, honest, strong, supportive people here. It's a little overwhelming almost. It's like, holy shit. And the tough part is you can't. There's just not enough time in a lifetime to directly contact every single person, reply to them, and say thank you for their kindness, you know? So I guess I just have to say out loud to every single person out there listening that you are absolutely appreciated so much. This is one big, huge team here, isn't it? And just know that every single person out there who has anything kind of supportive to say to this channel and to me and everybody on it is you are so freaking appreciated. I just wish I could get everybody in a big group hug at times, you know? So thank you very much for the support. It's absolutely appreciated. I think one of the first things I'm going to do with some of that channel support money is I've got like 4 broken cameras from filming out here and beating the shit out of everything. I have to send them to Canon repair place themselves. And I'm going to do that right away and to stay up. Because right now I'm at the point I break anything again, I'm done. I'm shut down instantly. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, I'm babbling away. Let's get on with this sharing, all right? Recently came across a YouTube channel. Still trying to wrap my mind around an experience I had last year elk hunting in the Frank Church Wilderness area, Idaho. A remote area. Had a bipedal track line going up a very steep slope on the side of a hill with a rise in elevation of about 800 yards from bottom to top. Track started at the base of the hill where there was a water source. Tracks were about men's size 16, but were barefoot and showed 5 toes. Big toe down to a little toe. Here's the thing. The stride was like 5 feet apart going up the steep hillside and sunk into the dirt at a depth of 3 to 4 inches. Me with my pack on hunting equipment weighed north of 240 pounds, and I was only sinking in the dirt around a half an inch in depth. The tracks were not fresh and were several days old, so it's not like I'd jumped something out of its bed or at a water source. It was around 1 p.m. I've been hunting remote areas now for over 35 years, and I've never seen anything like this. If it was a hoax to freak out a lone hunter in a remote area in the hopes he'd stumble upon these tracks, my hat goes off to them. The strength and agility to sprint up the side of this hill carrying a large amount of weight, it would be legendary. It was for sure going uphill, as you could see how it dug in with the toes to push up the hill. Trying to put this as a hoax, I thought maybe someone with fake feet strapped on backwards ran down the hill. This is not the case. And any tracker worth their weight knows how tracks going down a slope slide into place and stop. It was for sure a track uphill. It was for sure an uphill track with 5 feet between the strides. The tracks were a large, wide, human-type track, not a bear. I hunt bears and know their tracks well. I've grown up and seen movies about Bigfoot, and my mind kept going there as I studied these tracks. You keep pushing that thought out as you don't want to go to, I'm sharing these woods with a 9-foot-tall hairy monster. So now I'm left with, was it somehow hoaxed, or is there a large bipedal something in the woods? Anyway, for me, it has taken Bigfoot out of the realm of unicorns and put him into something that is a possibility. As I went over in my mind several times over the last year trying to figure out how someone could have hoaxed these tracks in the manner and location they were, with no other disturbances to this hillside. It's a head scratcher for sure. Tom in Idaho. Thanks, Tom. Thank you for that share. And like you heard me say to other people, man, if you are seeking out the topic online and you find this channel, and then you go out of your way to email this channel, me, through this channel, you know exactly what it was. So do we, so do I. We've all seen it. Thousands of people have seen it, all right? You're now a member of the club and no return, basically. No way out of it. Here we go. Let's get on another one. Steve, you're on the cutting edge of breaking the forest creature's enigma wide open. The government's going to have to find a way to explain why they have been hiding all this information. Or maybe they'll just open their files and say, here it is what it is. However it comes about, we'll all hold up signs that say, Steve told you so. Keep up the good work. Following's my experience. It was December of '62. Not too cold that year. Little snow, but bleak days with lots of rain. We had to stay inside for several days because of the rain. When the rain finally quit, I really wanted to go outside. I was so tired of staying indoors. My friend down the street called and wanted to know if I could come up to her house. I asked my mother and she said it was okay. I think she wanted this fidgeting girl out of the house. Danielle wanted to go out of the house as bad as I did. We were both kind of tomboys back then. She told her mother we were going to go for a walk, and we did. Our street was a dead-end street and ended at a cornfield which belonged to a large community school. They housed about 600 students, kindergarten through 12th grade, day and night. They grew their own food for the school and had about 365 acres, 300 or so in corn and other vegetables. The school had overseers who tended the fields and students who helped. Everyone left the fields at 5 p.m. The overseers went home and the students went back to the school for supper and homework. So by 6 p.m., anyone that could help themselves to fresh vegetables. The cornfields surrounded the back part of our neighborhood, many of the houses and cornfields meeting the back edge of their lots. There are many stories come out of those houses. Mothers who did not understand why the dogs got into the trash, but put the lids back on the cans. One old beer-drinking fisherman who uncovered his boat in the spring was surprised by a hairy man who had been sleeping in the bottom of the boat. The hairy man took off through the cornfield, and no one believed the old man. After all, he started drinking his beer at 10 a.m. Behind the cornfield were woods, and past the woods was a neat creek. We decided to walk down to the creek and see how high it was after all the rain. To get to the creek, we had to go through the cornfield and the path through the woods. The path only went through a corner of the woods, so that was not too far. We went to the dead end and through the gate of the cornfield. Yes, we were on private property and should not have been there, but we were young, and young people do unwise things. The cornfield had been plowed under for the winter and was exceptionally soft mud because of all the rain. Danielle was always in the lead, even though she was a bit shorter than me. She was full of herself, too. Remember, she told her mother we were just going for a walk. The next thing we saw stopped both of us in our tracks. We saw big, barefooted prints in the mud. Okay, a lot of people these days have seen footprint in the mud, but this was different. In the first place, this was 1962, long before cable TV and internet, even long before stories came out about Bigfoot. We had Life, Look, and the Reader's Digest to read, and only 3 TV channels. I looked it up when I got older. The first Bigfoot story in Reader's Digest was 1969, and the first Abominable Snowman story was in 1976, and he was all white. We were back in good old 1962. What do we know? The tracks were pristine, and any current-day researcher would have given his eye teeth to have happened on this set of prints. I'm talking about a set of prints that went from behind the last house at the dead end, up and around the little rise in front of the gate where we were. We'd gone about 10 feet into the cornfield from the gate, continuing across the cornfield and then up a rise and over the hill toward the woods and creek. Being young, I would say that they're about the length of... What? Being young, then, I would say they were about the length of 3 school buses that would be about 150 feet of footprints. I bent down to look at one closely. It was 1.5 inches deep in the mud. It was much bigger than my dad's foot, and the length was about 5 to 6 feet between prints. Danielle was getting so excited, she said, "Let's follow them." I thought, "Take your little cell phone up there." "Not to me." I said, "No." Oh. Shit, somebody's coming on a mountain bike. How's it going?
How are you?
Good.
Alright. I know you. Really?
Hey?
You look familiar.
Oh yeah?
There I go.
Hi there.
Yeah. You're with the band, right?
Who?
Are you with
Oh,
Mount
you're
Curry?
taking photos. Sorry.
Making a video. You're in a video.
Oh, hi. Hi, Martha. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We're just in a good spot, so we're in a good mood. You gotta forgive us.
Let's get one over here too. Sorry,
Yeah.
but not here.
That's all right. I was trying to get up to the top. There's too much snow.
Is there still? Yeah.
Yeah, sucks. I'm like, ah, damn it. You know, you go out of your way to go up the mountain and get something done, and you're gonna go. I like going up to the very top. You know, the view across the Curry is wicked.
Yeah, I know. I built the upper launch up there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And this trail we're about to go for, I built too. So Middle Earth. Have you been on it?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I don't do the mountain bike thing. Every one of my friends breaks their wrists. If I break anything, I'm hooped.
No, I had my wrist fucked, but see, this is a motorized bike.
Oh, yeah?
Same with hers.
Cheaters.
That's crazy how small that is.
You want to try it?
Oh, I've already tried one, yeah. Yeah, a buddy of mine in Pammy let me rip one.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, cool. Going uphill, too?
Fuck yeah. You kidding?
Like through trails?
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
No,
That's crazy.
It's the best thing. I mean, I've been riding my whole life, but, you know, we're in our 60s. So here we are, man. Look where we are. Grizzly country, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah. You seen the grizzlies up here before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I just filmed one at Birkenhead a couple days ago.
At the lake or where?
At the field.
Which field?
The Blackwater Road?
Yeah. There's lots in there.
Yeah.
Blackwater's a big transit area for them. They go from Ryan down up into there.
Could they be on our mountain bike trail?
Yeah, there's grizzlies here. I've seen grizzlies even right here in this slash.
Well, let's look through there.
See Sasquatch prints?
What's that?
Any Sasquatch prints?
No, that's why I always carry that. And I always carry, I got my neck stabbing knife, and I got my fucking bear banger. So hopefully I won't get killed. But you never know.
You ever hear any Sasquatch stories?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard lots.
Lots, yeah.
Well, because I worked with a lot of folks, Statlian people here, for many years. I have many friends who are Statlian who are, you know, very into that. I personally, and actually a good friend of ours, Martin DeHenden, his dad is the famous Sasquatch hunter.
Yeah, I know Martin.
Oh, you know Martin?
Yeah.
So you know about his dad?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but I'm not, you know, I'm an open-minded skeptic.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for proof, and I'd love to see it.
I got a lot of stories.
Yeah, that's your bag. That's your thing.
Wow, so many bags. I'm not.
Your hobby?
No, it's not even my hobby. It's just unfortunately, I've been guiding on horseback for big game up in the Northern Rockies for like 20 years. Guiding.
Oh.
I grew up in Vancouver Island. Did the outdoor life, right?
Yeah.
When I was
Did
8.
you ever know Cheryl Condi?
No.
Out in the where's they had that big
Edge.
Edgewater. Where were they? In the Northern Rockies?
Here.
They had like 45,000 acres in the Columbia River.
Well, I basically had a face-to-face one when I was 18.
Was it Grizz or a Sasquatch?
Sasquatch,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the shitty deal about it is like it's a life sentence, right?
Nobody believes it.
No.
No.
And nobody wants to admit it. So then, you might be interested in this. So then, years later, my grandfather flew a bomber in the war.
Yeah.
Got a picture of him getting medals pinned on him from Queen Elizabeth. Very intelligent guy. And he sat me down, and he'd already been taking me camping and steelhead fishing all over the frickin' place, right?
Yeah.
And I bought him a book for Christmas called Mysteries of the World book. And after Christmas dinner, I went to crack it open. And I went straight to the Sasquatch section. I'm reading it. And he came back and sat beside me. He looks at it. And he's a true gentleman.
Yes.
True gentleman. And he's like, Stephen, do you believe in those things? And I say, well, yeah, for sure. And I knew if I said I didn't, he wasn't going to say anything. And he still looked back. The rest of the family was still at the table eating Christmas dinner. Nobody could hear us. And then he said, well, I'm going to tell you a story of what happened. I'm not going to tell you what it was, so I don't know what it was. To make this story short, he ran into one of Vancouver Island timber cruising for the government. The reddish brown fur. Figured he was about 8.5 feet tall, 600 pounds. So anyway, and that confirmed it for me. So it'd be like if your wife came back mountain bike and looked you square in the eye and told you exactly what she saw here to there. It confirms for you, right? It's not like, oh, were you doing acid, honey? Which typically people do.
You don't know about our relationship yet, so but anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, so then I started these outdoor apps. Long story short, I started promoting these outdoor apps I was creating online. Started a YouTube channel. People started freaking out, bugging me, asking me questions if I'd seen one or not. And I'm like, I need to crack that open online, right? But then I remembered my grandfather flew a bomber in the war to save everybody's ass. And he died scared of ridicule from the same people that he offered up his ass to save.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I understand, and I hear that in your voice, the anger about that.
Yeah.
My dad too, similar story actually, but not bombers, different thing, but similar. But I think it's two separate questions. You know, there's no rhyme or reason. Martin's a good friend. I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
And his wife, Michelle, of course. And I, I'm a science-based guy, but I also know there's and my nephew is a quantum physicist, but.
Oh, is he?
Karen's an artist.
Quantum, that's big.
Well, quantum loop gravity, that's his thing. But anyway, University of Alberta, and he's a PhD student. But anyway, so I mean, I would love to see one.
Yeah.
I would love to see one.
It's a bit of a sentence.
I would love to see a UFO. I would love to believe in God.
Yeah.
But I don't at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I befriended a friend of mine in the States. He's an ex-U.S. investigator, and he was hired from some multi-gazillionaire guys just to investigate the topic.
Yeah.
He had no interest in it. He's like, okay. And he started looking into it, and then he realized he's like, this is real. And then he got involved with the Hoopa Reserve in North California, and he is responsible for obtaining over 110 different DNA samples.
Yeah.
He got them.
Yeah.
But the scientific community went, nope, this ain't going, it's not happening.
I have many friends in, Mount Currie, Schmalkam, Skatine, who I've talked to about, and it often comes up, it often comes up. And, I'll just tell this to you I don't ever ridicule anybody,
Yeah.
Well,
this life's a crazy ride. Nothing.
You can't, but I also, I try to provide a bookend to the thought process too, and say, well, but as you know, people do.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but no, I mean, I understand your pain.
Oh, I'm good. But funny is what I'm doing right now is, so once I realized how many, I did start looking into it intentionally when I quit guiding a handful of years ago, and I thought I'm gonna go find these suckers, and I started asking around. And it was more common for me to find a Sasquatch experience than it was a cougar sighting in this community, including Mount Currie. I couldn't. It was like.
Oh, you'll find lots of people in these Lower Schmalkam community who've seen them.
Yeah, all native and non-native, same course. So I have over 45 first-hand encounters just from our community, and majority of them do not want to talk about it, and it takes me a little while. I'm like, hey man, you're safe. I seen one. And then finally,
I'm totally ready, and I mean it.
But as soon as they see you're sincere, then they give it up, and they are so relieved to be able to talk to somebody straight up.
Yeah.
So then I realized, holy cow! So then I said online on my channel, I said, hey man, when you guys out there want to get something off your chest, email me. Guess how many emails I got to date? Close to 15,000.
Today?
No, to date.
Oh, today.
Around the planet.
Right. Yeah.
So there's what do we got? Close to 200,000 subscribers now.
Well, there's lots of, yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. The thoracic, how do you say it? Thoracic line. It's the marsupial wolf in Tasmania.
Oh yeah.
That went extinct, or the ivory-billed woodpecker that supposedly went extinct.
Right.
And now there are sightings of them both, but fleeting.
Yeah.
And again, guys like you, who've got them in camera traps, who see, can't get the cred,
I think that's the problem. Like I'm trying to tell everybody, it's like, I don't understand why people have to get people to believe in something. It's like on my YouTube channel, I've never ever said like, subscribe, and share ever once. It's like if you're interested in the topic, you're gonna come and listen. You can't force on anybody. You can't say no. You have to believe that they're real. Who gives a shit?
Filming right now.
Yeah, no big deal. But you know what I mean? It's like
you are filming?
the camera right there.
Oh, where?
I'm just saying, you're having the conversation.
Got the audio right here. I don't have to put that on there.
No, that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I got no problems with it.
Yeah.
I stand by what I say.
Yeah, of course. So that's what I always tell everybody. It's like, hey man, just take it or leave it. Like people going, you guys are a bunch of psychopaths. Hey man, take it or leave it. Listen to somebody's experience, take from it what you will, or leave it.
I mean, that's what we see on Twitter and stuff. Like I'm into, I spend a lot of time online and in social media, in Twitter. My area is energy, but not what you're into. But there's a whole bunch of people in the world that feel they can take the liberty of being nasty or mean or talk down or call you out and tell you to prove it. And you have no obligation to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice when people are just polite, like you were describing your grandfather or your father?
Grandfather.
Your grandfather. You know, just being polite is all you need.
Yeah.
And you don't have to believe, but if you're polite, that's okay. Everything's fine.
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
Terrified. But anyways, that's what I do. So
Cool.
I don't run around preach. I don't have Sasquatch stuff in the house. I'm not a Bigfoot freak. I've seen them.
Well, have you seen any of Martin's dad's stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've talked to Martin a few times. Yeah, yeah,
His father left his family just to do that.
yeah.
I mean, it kind of spoiled their marriage.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it spoiled a lot of people's marriages, careers, everything. But it's just all I'm doing is offering up an avenue for people to be heard, so they don't feel alone. Like my grandfather felt alone all those years, and too scared to tell me. It's like, what? Come on. You know what I mean? You feel bad for him. It's like, wait a minute, you're safe. Why do people feel so? The human herd animal is so insecure and terrified of each other for ridicule.
It's true. No, that's true. But I think you're touching on something that isn't necessarily just related to Sasquatches, right?
Oh, it opens up a whole shit pile.
It's basic human psychology.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't take it personally.
Oh God, no. No, I definitely can't.
You know.
Not a chance. But it's like it is good too. It's proven to be a very worthy thing as to offering up people a place to be safely heard. You know, like the amount of I had a nuclear physicist. Actually, I've had a few nuclear physicists. You wouldn't believe. Actually, I could babble on forever. But anyways, yeah.
I'm not a babbler too.
Well, there is something in the energy department. There is something going on there because I've had a few nuclear physicists email me, and they've had these things routinely have made it through the safety barriers, securities, and they've been standing looking up into the CCTV cameras at them. They don't know how they got in, don't know how they got out. Isn't that bizarre? But it just keeps going and going and going, right?
Me, I'm a skeptic, so I have to go, okay, but prove it, right?
Yeah.
And that's me.
I guess you have
But
to run into one.
I do look at all the photos when I see, I can't resist when I see an article or a photo of something, that's come up or a UFO. I definitely peek.
Well, Martin's a wealth of knowledge for local
Local what?
stories.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Me too.
What's your name?
It's Steve Isdall.
Steve Isdall, Nigel, and Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Nigel Trotter, Karen Love.
I found tracks up at the Yellow Gate up there
Or what?
2 springs ago.
Oh, Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Well,
It's about a week after the logger,
So they're big, like how
about 17 inches. But it was the same week there was a Sasquatch was seen crossing by the old Matt Curry store by a logging truck driver. And then I was doing a job on Owl Ridge, and the native guys were all freaking out, and Mount Curry's going to lockdown because one blatantly walked right across the road in broad daylight right there, heading this way in front of 6 people. And then it was like 2 days later we found the prints coming this way up at the Yellow Gate too. But the more you keep digging, the more you hear. The natives, and one native guy I ran into works with the band. I ran into him up by the old dump site at the news site. I was rummaging around. He goes, "Oh no, they're down at the river right now getting the rotten salmon." And he goes, "We don't really talk to the white people much about this because they think we're crazy. We don't know why."
well, they know why. They know why we think they're crazy because we're crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. That's a whole different subject.
Yeah. It's like,
But it may be in the creek beds where it's still really cold.
cool.
So we may be fucked. Who knows?
We'll be safe.
But we're, what do we got to lose, right?
Yeah. It's better than being inside.
Well,
Steve Isdall.
yesterday the wind was so bad, the branches and trees were going down on the trail last night. We were like, whoa.
Okay, so we gotta hike.
Well, that was interesting. There you go. There's, I don't know if I'll be adding that into the video or not, but so these mountain bike trail builders just hammered the way all the way up here, and now they're gonna go bouncing down through the timber. Good on them. And I don't know if you can hear his voice in the recording or not, but apparently they are very, very good friends with Martin DeHinden, who is the son of the infamous Rene DeHinden, who searched for Bigfoot all of his life. And there you go. And he still doesn't fully believe in them because he needs proof, which is fine, but that's very common. And he has respect for those people who accept the existence, which is cool too. And now I've lost my place where I was reading in this video. So let's see if I can hopefully Dad's foot. Hopefully I can figure out where I was. All right, here we go. I thought, take your little cell phone up there, not me. I said, no. She said, well, I'm going to follow them. I've got to stop the story right here because I have something important to tell you. This is in 1962. So the poor old beast is probably dead by now, and I think he was old at the time in 1962. The location really does not matter. No point in going looking for him. He is long gone. So I'm going to tell you where this happened. Sometime in 2015, I looked up an old insurance map of the city I lived in back then in 1962. The map circled every 2 miles from the state capitol to show the distance out from the Capitol building. Now get this, the area where we saw the footprints, the area where the trash cans were raided, the area where the old fisherman saw something in his boat was 4 miles from the state capitol building of Nashville, Tennessee. Not out in the woods, not out in a mountain, not in Canada. 4 miles from the Capitol building as a crow flies. You were so right, Scott Carpenter, when you said they live on the fringes of society. Okay, back to the story. Well, Danielle went over that hill, and I got up and moved to the next footprint and knelt to take a closer look. These prints had my attention. What in the world had made these prints? It must have been something big. They were all the same, deep, long, and far apart, starting way back as far as I could see and then going along in a long straight line and up and over the hill where the Danielle went. As I bent over looking at them, I noticed they had like fingerprints in them. Not real fingerprints in them, but lines like my fingerprints, only bigger. I did notice that and made note of it in my young mind. Later found out that researchers made a big deal about it also. They called them dermal ridges. While I was all lost in examining the footprints, Danielle yelled, "Run, Gail, run!" Well, you don't have to tell me twice. I took off running for the gate, and here comes Danielle up from behind. Remember I told you she was shorter than me? Well, here she comes around me and headed for that gate like a bat out of Hades. Like a bat out of Hades. She beat me to the gate and yelled, "Hurry up, Gail." That little mess, I wish she would not yell so loud, I was thinking. She'll have all our neighbors looking out the door to see what is going on, and we really were not supposed to be there. As she took off running for her house, I closed the gate and looked around to see if anyone was looking out the windows or the doors of the neighboring houses. Lucky for us, no one seemed to be around or looking out their windows. She ran into her garage and was cleaning the mud off her shoes. They seemed like a smart thing to do, so I caught my breath. I began cleaning my shoes too. Finally I asked, "What did you see?" She just looked at me, so I asked her again. She just looked at me, so I asked her again. She said, "I can't say, I just can't say." So I asked some other question, trying to find out what was over the hill. Finally she said, "I gotta go in, and you gotta go home." Well, sounded like a good idea to me. I thought we would talk later about it and she would fill me in on what was over the hill. Nope, that never happened. And I'm sure if you heard many other stories, you would know how it ended. We were not friends for long after that. Oh, we still know each other now, but only to send cards when one of our family members passes away. We never talked about that day again. This is the way it seems to go with these things. Fast forward 50 years and 1 month to January 2013. I'm retiring after 30 years of working at the same place. My life has been great, with a few bumps in the road. I have 5 children and managed to get a 4-year college degree while working 40 hours a week and raising these wonderful children of mine. At my retirement party, they asked me what I'm going to do as they hand me an engraved silver tray, and I give them a list of fun stuff like gardening, piano, art, and reading. I never told them that I was going to go get to the bottom of this 50-year-old mystery in the back of my mind, but that was my plan. You see, it was a mystery because what I saw that day was not like what I saw later in life in Discovery, finding Bigfoot, the internet, or any of these sources of information about Bigfoot. It was just a little bit different, just enough to make me wonder. My kids would watch those shows and say, "Mama, you think Bigfoot's real?" And I would reply, "Yes, I think I saw his footprints." But something was different. The footprints I saw so clear that day in 1962 only had 3 toes. Not like 2 had been cut off in an accident, but 3 evenly placed toes around the same size. The larger toe is just a little bit bigger than the other 2. After I retired from work, I bought a laptop and ordered every book I could afford on the subject of Bigfoot. After about 2 years of searching the internet, one day I happened upon a story. The story was of 4 young people who were returning home from a concert in Nashville to Las Casas, Tennessee, about 45 minutes from Nashville. It was late at night and they came upon a man walking down the side of the road. When they got closer, they thought he was wearing a fur coat. Well, you know how it ended. They looked at him and he looked at them. Everyone looked surprised and they hit the gas and he took off through the cornfield. All these cornfields. But the important part was that they went back the next day because they could just not believe what they saw, and they found footprints, 3-toed footprints. I jumped up out of my chair at the laptop and danced around the room. Finally, after 50 years, a story that fit mine. Then I found an account of 3-toed footprints on one of the books I was reading, The Locals by Tom Powell. It was on page 184, left-hand side at the bottom. Then I found a reference in the second book, and now I occasionally find stories online about 3-toed prints. They seem to show up in eastern North America. I've read of these prints in Arkansas, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Ohio. So, 2 things to take away from my story. Yes, they live in cities, neighborhoods, and towns. Anywhere there is food, a creek, and woods for them to hide in. They come in all sizes and have different features. Some look human, some more like an ape. They have different colored hair. Some have 5 toes, some have 3 toes. Some are good, some are evil, and some are serial killers. Just be careful out there. Continue on, Steve. You're making a difference. Best regards, Gail. Gail, I'm so happy for you to have found the similar experience description that you had on your own. And, actually I had a friend of mine recently tell me that years ago he found tracks in Vancouver Island. And they were like 18 or 19-inch footprints, and they're 3-toed. And obviously you've all heard by now, there's literally hundreds of accounts of 3-toed footprints being squashed in the mud and the trails around the planet today. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not going to stop, and it's not going to go away. But anyway, it's funny. I don't know what time it is. I think it might be 4 o'clock or something. It's definitely, the sun's getting farther away. It's getting colder rapidly up here. So I'll see if I can pull the gear, pack up, start this old dog up, and I might go down to a next level down below. If it's not too windy, I'll set up and I might pull off another share. Then I gotta go home and hit the couch again. Get this bug out of me. But again, the link to support this channel, if you choose to, is in the description, link below, and it is absolutely appreciated. Every one of you is just so, the support, the kind words, the support for everybody here is absolutely appreciated. It's such a strong energy force combined, is it not? But anyway, here we go.